What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video, man. I watched a superhero movie and I made a video reviewing it, basically giving my thoughts and how I felt about the movie. Long story short, if you haven't watched that video, it's just be talking about my thoughts on the movies. I do eventually get into a little bit of spoilers though, so if you're just looking to confirm how good the movie was to you like it was to me, then go definitely check that out. But long story short, man, I said the movie was amazing. I thought it was great. Now, as I'm in the movie theater and I'm like looking, I'm trying to figure out like whenever this game is coming, like not necessarily the game, whenever this movie's coming out, I'm at the movie theater, and the first thing I think about when I'm actually watching the movie, man, I would love to see these characters in Xenoverse. I just kept saying like whenever they release this DLC for Xenoverse or whatever for these androids, these new androids, I'll be going back. Now, they might not have made much of an impression on you, and if you haven't seen Superhero, I won't be spoiling it for you because it's a great movie. CG and all, it's a great movie, so I won't really spoil too much. And honestly, they didn't really come with no crazy, really unique fighting skills. Just they left an impression on me. And knowing Xenoverse, the game is really running like a live service game these days. Kind of like countless DLC updates scheduled throughout the year, so it's a good chance they'll jump on something like this. I know pretty much all the phone games will be jumping on something like this, as far as like Dragon Ball Legends or Dokkan. You'll basically probably be able to play with all the new characters eventually. Now, me personally, I'm not like the biggest Xenoverse fan at this point. Not saying it's a bad game, but considering the game's been out for years, I've been the one that's basically a Xenoverse 3 supporter, and depending on whatever line you're on with that, you could be like, honestly, you don't have to play the game if you don't like it. And then it's also an opinion that it's actually good, that Xenoverse is getting supported all these years later with new DLC. For me, man, I'll be interested in some of the stuff that's coming up for Xenoverse, because with Dragon Ball Z, the thing about Dragon Ball Z, it seems to be a never-ending franchise. It's a little bit different than One Piece, because I feel like One Piece is like continuous, and I don't think there's really no anime besides maybe a very small select few that has the kind of impact that Dragon Ball Z has. So if they take this Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 and they're getting lots of money off of basically updating and adding new characters into the game, then from the financial standpoint, I wouldn't really see a reason to make a Xenoverse 3. That would just be specifically a fan endeavor. For me, I've always wanted Xenoverse 3 to see what the new gen consoles can do. I would really like to see what they could be working on, how like movement and everything that may be wrong that can't necessarily be fixed all the way in this particular game could be fixed in Xenoverse 3. But past that, man, I really want the Android. I really want a lot of characters in here. Obviously, the new form of Gohan is pretty much leaked everywhere. You already know that mods are going to be a big factor in this game. It's a reason why the game actually survives today. It's a big reason to me why the game survives today, because people will just basically use mods and make the gameplay experience a little bit more better by adding custom transformations. I've always been a little critical of Xenoverse for stuff like that, just simply like seeing all the really cool mod integrations that we can get on PC, and they're not being allowed to have those type of alterations on PlayStation. I mean, at one point PlayStation was kind of dipping and dabbing into like the mod selection. It wasn't nothing crazy. They actually introduced like Skyrim and Fallout mods, so some of the very base minimum Fallout and Skyrim mods you can actually get on your PlayStation. Like, this was actually it was actually support for that. But pretty much after those games, you really never heard of this again, which is kind of sad. It wasn't like the craziest mods, but it was at least mods that actually gave you a little bit of alteration in gameplay. That's why when I realized that they weren't doing any other games like this, I was kind of disappointed. Because me personally, I would love to go back and see Xenoverse 2 in a different light. Like, for instance, man, Fortnite and Dragon Ball Z have had a big collaboration, probably one of the biggest collaborations in gaming. I know it made them a lot of money, and it honestly wasn't that hard. It probably made both companies a lot of money, and it was bound to happen after the whole Naruto collaboration. Basically, they put a lot of the Dragon Ball Z characters into the Fortnite game, and not only did they do that, they also basically had a whole event dedicated to them, whole sections of maps and stuff, changed and added with different materials like the Nimbus and the Kamehameha Blast. It was actually very successful crossover. Then look at something like Xenoverse. I think Xenoverse was never really made to be that game that's gonna last forever. They just decided to keep updating and keep adding characters for it. So eventually it did get the, the love that it wasn't really meant to get. A lot of these DLC characters come from like movies and some of that standard universe of Dragon Ball Z. Like for instance, there is currently a phenomenon in the manga going on right now called Black Frieza. Now you may have seen the memes pop up everywhere, but Black Frieza is basically, he's a new form of Frieza, and like I said before, Dragon Ball Z doesn't stop. So this is actually very interesting in the fact that we don't know when Xenoverse 2 could drop down. Like, we don't know when it may stop. You know, Super is rumored to be coming back, so that's gonna be a whole nother anime on the way. And then they have so much more material in the manga. The manga is not stopping right now, it's keeping going. All I ask for you to do, man, is just to give me my androids from Dragon Ball superhero movie. Give me my androids, give me my new forms of Gohan and Piccolo, and I'll be happy. I can't wait to actually start to play them in the game. I'm actually myself will be buying that DLC for sure, just to give it a little gameplay and test it out. I'm pretty sure there's already 1,000 mods out already that can do the same things. And obviously, I do understand the need to not want to put mods in your game. Just this last little part right here. Specifically, if I'm making content and I'm making new transformations and stuff, and it's taking me a while to actually code it into the game, I wouldn't want to add mods where people can actually do it and the community could work on it. It could be up there way faster and not be charged for it, and I can make no money off of it. So I guess it's the way they're looking at it from there. But with that being said, guys, what are some characters you want added into Xenoverse? I honestly have my two picks. My two androids I definitely need added. They're pretty much carbon copies of each other. One just red, one just blue. But I like the design of them. I like the movie a lot. And I like some other characters that are kind of more spoilery as far as like some of the forms and stuff. But like I said, they've pretty much been everywhere, so you guys have seen them. But thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe. I'll see you guys next video.